Hello, my name is JaNita Russell. For my photo voice presentation, I decided to take photos that represent the different intersections of my own various identities and expresses the ways in which I am privileged and oppressed. I hope you enjoy. I have never really thought about the ways in which I am privileged. I have only ever thought about the ways in which I am oppressed. To be oppressed means to be exploited or systematically harmed by others. African Americans, Native Americans, women, gay men, and other minority groups all experience oppression, whether it be through prejudice or unfair laws. When I think of what it means to be oppressed, I think of bars, chains, and cages, all things that represent confinement. Because of my race and sex, I am oppressed. As a black woman in the workplace, I will always have to work twice as hard and be twice as good as my white counterparts in order to get to where I want to be. Even then, still to experience the concrete ceiling, meaning that I will experience difficulties moving into higher positions because I am a black woman. And if granted this opportunity, I will be more likely than my male counterpart to be assigned a glass cliff position. A position which involves leading a unit that is in crisis and has a high risk of failure. So in a way, being a black woman in the workplace, I am damned if I do and damned if I don't. The reality of the double standard for black women. When I think of what it means to be a black woman trying to make it to the top, I think of a birdcage. If you look very closely at just one wire in the cage, you cannot see the other wires. If your conception of what is before you is determined by this myopic focus, you are unable to see why the bird cannot just fly around when it wants to go somewhere or just escape the cage. It is not until you step back and take a microscopic view of the whole cage that you will understand why the bird does not go anywhere. The bird is surrounded by a network of systematically related barriers, all of which are related to each other and are as confining as the walls of a prison. It is me. I am the bird. According to the book, to be privileged means to have benefits, advantages, and power that accrue to members of a dominant group by virtue of their status in society. Before taking this Psychology of Women class, I never knew the ways in which I was privileged. When I thought of privilege, the only thing that used to come to mind were white people and, to be more specific, white men. However, I have learned that I am privileged because of my sexual orientation and my ability. The pictures of my cousin and her husband on their wedding day to me represents heterosexuality and being able-bodied, both a part of my identity in a way in which I am privileged. The picture depicts what it looks like to be sexually attracted to one of the opposite sex and how it looks to be able to walk, talk, and hear, which are all things that allow one to obtain certain privileges in society. To be heterosexual and to be able-bodied is viewed as being the norm, whereas anything else is seen as abnormal. Being heterosexual, I have never had to label my sexual orientation or disclose to others that I am straight. Nor did I ever have to worry about being accepted by my peers, parents, and loved ones. Being heterosexual, I do not have to worry about being discriminated against by laws and social policies around the world. Growing up, I did not feel unsafe in school. I wasn't harassed, threatened, or bullied because of being straight or able-bodied. I do not have to worry about if others will be in support of my marriage or not, and I do not have to worry about going to prison, being beaten, or dying because of my sexual orientation, and for that I am privileged. Because I am able-bodied and heterosexual, I do not have to worry about facing particular challenges when it comes to developing a healthy sexuality. I do not have to experience barriers to receiving adequate counseling and health care. I do not have to worry about being discriminated by health care providers due to my sexual orientation and ability. All of the things that I just mentioned about the ways in which I experience privilege due to my sexual orientation and ability were all discussed in various chapters throughout the book. I want to end my presentation by talking about what being a black woman means to me. Before coming to Spelman College, I struggled with finding my identity and what it meant to be a black woman. And if I'm being honest, I am still learning new things about myself every day. When I think of what it means to be a black woman, I think of the word infinite, because I truly believe that there is nothing that a black woman cannot do. To be a black woman means to be beautiful, brave, and resilient, all things that I someday aspire to be. I can honestly say that I now have a new outlook on life. Although I will always have to work harder because I am a Black woman, I am still thankful for the ways in which I am privileged. Thank you.